Mr. Hatami.
Now let's give Jon a big hand.
Good evening. In 1983, my family and I moved to Canyon Country. I attended and graduated Canyon High. I went on to COC. I eventually enlisted in the Army, and I served one enlistment as light infantryman and a second enlistment as a military police sergeant. I was honorably discharged as a staff sergeant and went back to college, earning my Associate of Science, my Bachelor of Arts, and my Juris Doctorate. I currently live in Canyon Country with my wife, Roxanne, who's sitting right there. She also grew up in Santa Clarita, but she went to Valencia High. Presently, I am a deputy district attorney. I prosecute felony cases in Antelope Valley. My wife, she's a deputy sheriff on patrol right here in Santa Clarita. I am lucky that I have such a great job where I can fight for people who sometimes can't fight for themselves. And it is such a great feeling to call a victim after I get a guilty verdict and let him or her know that justice was served. So how do I stand apart from the other candidates? I am very knowledgeable on crime prevention and drug prevention, and I want to bring that passion and expertise to you. I love Canyon Country, my city in this valley, and I don't want to live anywhere but here. How else do I stand apart from the candidates? I'm new, I'm young, I'm full of energy, and I will bring fresh new ideas to the table. I will try and form partnerships with the residents. I will talk with people, groups, businesses, the county, and talking to them as equals, showing mutual respect, and most important, I will listen. For example, yesterday, I had a meeting with Michael Antonovich. I talked with him for over 2 hours. What an honor. And you know what I did? I listened. Our police station was built at a time when we didn't even have cell phones. Recently, because of issues regarding old pipes, our deputies have had to park at the mall. My wife's had to park at the mall. We have had prisoners who can't be kept at the jail at the station, and they had to be transferred to Santa Valley because of the pipe issue. In addition, the station is so old and outdated that deputies have had to even lease out extra space by the mall to house the Detective Bureau. Today we heard such great news that we are going to get a new police station. We have been advocating for a new police station in my campaign. We have also been advocating for a better and more productive relationship with the city and the county. It's unfortunate that the relationship between our current city council and the county has deteriorated to such a point where Los Angeles County will not even talk with the current city council or our city manager before proposing a new police station. We need new leadership. We need a Canyon Country substation. A new police station will even be farther than the current one from the Canyon Country residents. Think about that. This is a public safety issue. It is vital that we have someone on the city council who can work with Supervisor Michael Antonovich in order to bring a new, modern police station to Santa Clarita Valley and a substation to Canyon Country. I am that person who can do that. Thank you.
Are we ready to start asking Jon questions? Yes. All right. First question comes from Mike Nallum. Is that how you say it? Say it for me. Nallum. Okay. One Valley, One Vision has several affordable housing elements, with the bulk of the units being slated for the New Hall and Canyon Country areas. None to speak of in Valencia. This is in spite of most of the jobs requiring workers that will need affordable housing elements being on the west side of the Santa Clarita Valley. How do you feel about that and the One Valley, One Vision plan in general?
I'm against One Valley, One Vision. That's being said. Regarding low-income housing, I've prosecuted Section 8 low-income housing fraud as a deputy district attorney, so I know a lot about it. There are some issues with Section 8 low-income housing. The first being that I think you need to work with the Sheriff's Department and work with the Los Angeles County Housing Authority to make sure that the right people are getting low-income housing, to make sure that veterans, the elderly, and the truly needy are getting it. A lot of times here in the county, people commit fraud. And this is taxpayer dollars. So when you're going to give out taxpayer dollars, all of your money, that should be monitored and given to the people who really need it. So that's very, very important that we need to make sure that that's happening. I'm 100% against putting low-income housing in certain areas and not in other areas. That's not fair to a lot of different people in the community. I think we need low-income housing for the truly needy, and the people who really need it, but I don't believe you should just put it just in New Hall or just in Canyon Country.
Okay, this question for you as well. How much time per week can you devote to this position if you're elected?
Whatever it takes. I'm young, got a lot of energy. Whatever it takes. If you're given a responsibility of being voted into office as a city council person, I have an obligation to all of you and to everybody here in the city. And so whatever it takes.
Okay, when you say whatever it takes,
Uh-huh.
what does that mean to you? I mean,
Well, that means you
does
get
that
the
mean
job
40
done.
hours? Does that mean you're retired and you can give 80 hours?
Well,
What
I'm
does
not
that mean?
retired. No, I'm not retired. I have a mortgage. I have to pay my bills, obviously. But no, whatever it takes. If you have to go home and read late at night so you're prepared the next day, there you go. Whatever it takes. Just like as a prosecutor, I have a responsibility to the people of the state of California, and so that responsibility would mean that even though I'm off work at 4:30, I take my cases home all the time and I study them and I look them over. And the reason for that is I've been given a great responsibility to protect the public. And so if I was given a responsibility to be your council person, that would be the same thing. It's to make sure that the responsibility that's given to me is done appropriately, and the work that it needs to be taken needs to be taken. And if I have to go home at night, if I have to study in my bed, if I have to wake up early in the morning, I'll do it. That's what it means, and that's why I'm here doing this. Did I answer that question?
Yes. Okay, another question for you. This is one that goes to all candidates as well. Do you think a candidate should be held responsible by the voting public for purposely making misleading statements about the character of other candidates when they know the statements to be untrue?
Of course. First of all, being new to this situation, all I can do is tell you this. People on the city council should be leading by example. I learned that in the Army. People on the city council are not doing that. If you're up there fighting over who the mayor or mayor pro tem is, if you're up there fighting over who's going to be on this committee or that committee, you're not setting an example for the young people. You're not. You need to step aside from all that and do the city work, what needs to be done. Lori Anders should have been the mayor. Bob Keller should have been the mayor pro tem. That's it. That's it. It's that. That's how it has been, and that's how it should have been. And the reason for that is what you do is you get people who have bias, and then they start doing these little things in the back, and then it comes out the way it is. But that isn't the way it should have been. I'm more interested in a lot of things that affect the people in this community. I've been going door to door talking to people here in Canyon Country. Most people, this mayor and mayor pro tem thing is not what they're talking about. They're worried about good schools. They're worried about heroin in this community. They're worried about a new police station. They're worried about deputies being out here patrolling. They're worried about their businesses getting etched and their windows getting etched. They're worried about gangs. These are the things we should be talking about at the city council, not who's mayor and mayor pro tem.
Okay. All right, I have another question for you. Just came in. This is from Debbie. Are you in favor of term limits?
Yes. Yes, 100%. I
Why
think a
would
lot
that
of
be?
people will come and tell you, I have heard from other sides that say, hey, that's not enough time. If I want to get things done, I won't be able to have time to get these things done. However, if you're quick, if you're smart, if you work hard, if you need to get things done, you can get them done. And it not only does, I think term limits are great for a lot of reasons. It brings in new people, new ideas, new thought process. When's the last time we've had diversity in this city council? Never.
All right, I have another question for you. With the changing demographics and the population increasing in age, what would you do as a city council member to ensure our community has adequate health care facilities, especially for our elder seniors? I think that's kind of redundant, but
Yeah.
but I asked that.
Healthcare has a lot to do with the state and the federal government. However, I'd really love to see a hospital here in Canyon Country. I live out here.
Hey, is that what you do specifically for seniors? Because that was the question.
for seniors, obviously, that you can meet with seniors, you can talk to them about what their needs are, and I think that's what's important in being a council person, is go out and talk to the residents instead of me telling them what I think that they need. How they can come and tell me what they think that they need, and then I can go out and do it if I can. And so, I would like a hospital here in Canyon Country, but that being said, if there's things that the seniors need here in Canyon Country or in Santa Clarita, I'd be more than willing to talk to them and try to implement those things.
Right. How do you feel about the city being a charter city?
No, the city's good the way it is. It's a general law city. I would be against it being a charter city. But I agree with Tim Benton. A lot of things Tim Benton said were really, really right on. He's been a very, very nice guy to me. And I would 100% agree that we need new people in city council, rotating the same people over and over again. I don't think it does the community good, and I think it'd be nice if we had new people. But I wouldn't be for a charter city.
Okay, we have another specific question to you. What is your understanding of the historic properties ordinance, and how do you intend to vote on it should you be elected? And that came from Molly Hodson. Molly, are you here?
It's funny, the Signal editorial board asked me that same question. I'm not that up to date on that, but I would say this. I'm against eminent domain. I believe a lot of stuff that Bob Keller stands for regarding that Republican value, I'm really for 100%. I think people taking away people's property, I'm 100% against. So if anything had to do with that, I'd be against it. I do believe things that are historically here in Santa Clarita that make Santa Clarita the way it has been, I would be for keeping it that way. I hope that answers the question.
Okay. Let's see what else we have here. When the actual costs or benefits and potential effects of a project do not measure up to the announced estimates, what do you suggest should be the council's next course of action?
Yeah, you're going to have to say it to me one more time, Spence, as a layperson, because I not understand what that was.
Benefits and potential effects of a project that is put before the council,
okay,
those characteristics do not measure up to the announced estimates, what do you suggest should be done by the council as their next course of action?
Well, not vote on it. That'd be the first thing. Obviously, if you have a problem like that, you need to go do more research. You need to go get more people involved. You need to go find out what the issues are regarding the discrepancy. And so that's what you do with that.
All right. Let's see what else we got here. All right. What was your biggest mistake so far in your campaign?
Wow. My biggest mistake so far in the campaign.
And this is something that will be asked of all the candidates.
My biggest mistake so far in the campaign. Right. I don't think I realized how nasty things could get I've grown up out here, and I live out here, and I work out here, and I pay my bills, and I own a house, and my family lives out here, and so I like it. I like the people. It's cool. And so sometimes when I'm seeing this, we got a major attack going on between everybody, not just here in the city council, but just within my party.
Okay,
a major mistake would be underestimating the aggressive nature and the meanness that has been going on. And I regrouped at the beginning of this campaign, and I got all my troops together, and I said we have to reevaluate the situation, and now I'm a lot more careful. There you go.
Okay, keeping that in mind, this is the follow-up question. And this is from Lori Rivas.
Okay.
By the way, what will be your biggest weakness as an elected official?
I'm too conservative. So, I mean, there you go. And so, I mean, yeah, so there you go. I would agree with that. But here's the thing. Being a city council person, you represent everybody. You represent both Democrats and Republicans, both the liberals and the conservatives. And as a prosecutor, I do the same thing. I represent everybody, all the people. And so part of my job would be to have to sit down and talk to people who have different viewpoints than I do and listen to them and, and see if I can come to some sort of common ground. So, I have my own political beliefs, my own ideologies, which drive who I am. But I think that I need to sit down more and understand some of the issues that people do have that maybe I don't see eye to eye with. There you go.
Okay. Here's another question. This is from Mary Bell Knight. The signal this morning indicated that crime rates are up in Santa Clarita in January. Could you tell us what you intend to do to combat crime in Santa Clarita?
Sure. Crime rates are up because AB 109 and AB 117 were passed by the liberal legislature here in California, and we are now releasing criminals into our community up in Antelope Valley, up in Van Nuys, 40 to 60 a week. And most of these individuals are given $200 on a bus pass. And so now we have crime rates that are increasing in the last month by 11% here in the city and by over 44% in the valley. That's serious. That is very, very serious. Realignment, which is what it's called, is horrible. And almost every prosecutor is against that. And we as a city need to be ready for that. We need to build a substation out here in Canyon Country. We need to have a new police station here in the city of Santa Clarita. We need to support our deputies. We need OSS detectives, which is Operation Safe Streets, which is gang detectives in our city. They're in most other cities. Why are they not here? A lot of the reason is people don't want the statistics to go up. And gang detectives come in and they eradicate gangs. So statistics will go up at one point, but then they'll go back down and it'll make the community safer. We need mall deputies. We had an individual who was molested in the mall, a child, and the security let that person go, walked him to the bus and let him go. To me, that's a problem. Almost every mall in Los Angeles has mall deputies. Why don't we? We have a gang called the Juggalos, which is operating outside of the mall. They are giving children drugs. Why aren't we dealing with that? We have Newhall 13. We have Sanford. We have AOB. We have gangs operating in Newhall and gangs operating in and around Jake's Way. We need to bring in OSS detectives to eradicate that. We need more patrols in Canyon Country. We have a shift change between 6 to 2 and 2 to 10, okay, where we only have one police car out here.
Time for this question.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I can go on and on about that. So.
All right. That's it. That's the question. That's all the questions I have.
That's it? Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
The fix is in, baby. Can you investigate that?
Yes. I want to take the time to thank my wife. She's my best friend. I want to thank my hometown, the Canyon Country residents, Alan Ferdman and Spence Leafdale, and the citizens. One thing I do want to say is I don't like calling us the East Side. I call us Canyon Country. We're not in downtown LA, so we are Canyon Country. There are many issues affecting us. I do believe the number one issue is public safety. I do. Why? We are the best city, in my opinion, but we have to keep it that way. And we do have a serious heroin problem here in this city. Young people are dying. And we need people on the city council who can roll up their sleeves, get out into the community, and start making a difference. We need to build partnerships. We need to bring this issue out into the open and address it head on with all of our available resources. We also have a gang problem. How do you think these drugs are coming into our city? Is it as serious as Antelope Valley or Compton? No. But we do have between 5 and 10 criminal street gangs operating in our city and our valley. And gangs and drugs, they're a cancer. They can spread. We have to be proactive in order to keep our children safe. We must work as a team. We must be transparent. We must get ideas from all over our city and valley, from our neighboring cities, and from all of our leaders. And crime prevention and public safety can relate to almost every issue. It even relates to business. Good business equals a good quality of life. Does business want to come to our city if we have a heroin problem? If we have a gang problem? How do we solve this? We need peer groups. We need education. We need to support action. We do need a Canyon Country substation. Think about the response time from where the new police station is going to be, or even where our police station is now, to here in Canyon Country. That is very serious. Think about that. If somebody's a victim of domestic violence, if somebody's breaking into somebody's home, and you got to drive code on Soledad, how long is it going to take to get here? Think about that. We do need more patrols in Canyon Country. We need proactive policing. We do need gang detectives. And we do need mall deputies. I want to let you all know I'm not running against Bob Keller or Lori Ender. I'm running for City Council. I'm not joining this team or that team. I'm on the people's team. And I'm going to win this on my merit, on my own 2 feet, the American way. And I'm asking for your vote on April 10th. Thank you.